Welcome back to Random City Sports Ballers. Okay, I'm going to do a quick assessment on baseball. I've got 2 first place, 2 third place. All 7 teams are in playoff position, but I am going to definitely get into my first fantasy football draft. We need to take a look at that because I still haven't done an analysis or I didn't show everybody what my draft looked like. Okay, so soon as I can... Sorry about that. As soon as I can get these results up, we'll start talking about what happened in this draft. It was a pretty standard, this was a $50 league, and the draft went as I would have expected. First pick was Christian McCaffrey. Second pick was Justin Jefferson. Then Jamar Chase and Jonathan Taylor. Then Travis Kelce went 5th. Cooper Kupp went 6th. I was 7th pick. Somehow Austin Eckler got all the way back to me. I can understand all of those picks. But then when Austin Eckler got back to me, I was like, oh, no way this is happening. So, barring injury, that's an excellent first-round pick. And then after that was Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson, and Nick Chubb. So that rounds out the first round. And then the guy who took Nick Chubb turned right around and took a good receiver in Stephon Diggs. Then we had Saquon Barkley go, Derrick Henry. I was able to take Josh Jacobs with that next pick. I was playing to ignore wide receivers to begin with, and it seemed to have worked out pretty good. CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard from Dallas went after that, and then we saw Kenneth Walker. Then came A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams. I was still surprised to see Devontae Adams wait until 19th pick. Then we had Breece Hall and Travis Etienne taken by Mike's unbelievable team. Second pick of the third round was Patrick Mahomes, Najee Harris, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ramondre Stevenson, Dalvin Cook, and then I got a hold of Jalen Hurts. Now, I know some folks might think that's a little early for Jalen Hurts, but I'm telling you, quarterbacks are disappearing in the third round. The top quarterbacks are disappearing in the third round. And so if you want one of those top fellas, you got to make a move on them in the third round. Then Chris Olave, Josh Allen, again, like I said, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Jones, Jalen Waddle, Lamar Jackson went with the third pick of the fourth round. Then I took Devonta Smith. Then went Justin Fields, DK Metcalf, and Joe Burrow. See, by the end of the fourth round, the quarterbacks have just been decimated. I mean, they're just so... By the fifth round, the only thing left for you here, someone took Justin Herbert. But anyways, let's go through the rest of this. Okay, so Joe Burrow with fourth round, pick 7. Then Miles Sanders, T. Higgins, and Mark Andrews. Then he came around and took Amari Cooper with his next pick. And we got Dameon Pierce. There went Justin Herbert, and Joe Mixon lasted until the 5th round. Jahmyr Gibbs, J.K. Dobbins, Deebo Samuel for me, Brian Robinson from Washington, a running back. I mean, we'll see how that works out. DeAndre Hopkins, Trevor Lawrence. We're Trevor Lawrence deep in quarterbacks at the end of round 5. But the only other quarterback that was taken in that round was Justin Herbert. So then we get into DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, David Montgomery. I took him. I've told you what I feel about David Montgomery in Detroit this year. Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson. That's a little early for what I would have taken Christian Watson, but everybody's got their feelings. Michael Pittman, Cam Akers, James Conner, and Terry McLaurin round out the 6th round. For round 7, Deshaun Watson, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. At this point, Alexander Mattison went in the 7th round. We still didn't know that Dalvin Cook was getting cut. When he got released by Minnesota, that made Alexander Mattison jump up. The last draft I had, he was 4th round. Javonte Williams, Tyler Lockett, Drake London, Rashad... by the way, it was me taking Tyler Lockett because I think that's a steal in the 7th round. Drake London, Rashad White, Dallas Goedert, Christian Kirk, Isaiah Pacheco, A.J. Dillon, and I took James Cook. Jerry Jeudy, Chris Godwin, Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts, Alvin Kamara. I've seen the video. It does not look good. Treylon Burks, And then top of the 9th round was Brandon Ayuk, Marquise Brown, Rashad Penny, and Zeke Elliott went with the 4th pick in the 9th round. Anthony Richardson, Tua, Mike Williams, I took him. George Pickens, Gabe Davis, Jamal Williams, with the trouble that Kamara could be in at Jamal Williams pick. Khalil Herbert, Kadarius Toney, Tyler Algier, Dak Prescott. Yes, I took a backup quarterback of Dak Prescott in round 10. Antonio Gibson, Jahan Dotson, Justin Tucker, it's first kicker in round 10. Jordan Addison, Damian Harris, Michael Thomas. Odell Beckham, and that's fun because he still hadn't signed to a team. Zach Charbonnet, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cortland Sutton, Daniel Jones, Evan Engram, Brett Maher. That was me taking Brett Maher. I just was grabbing any kicker. I didn't care who. And, of course, we know what Brett Maher did. Boy, those missed extra points. My brain must have malfunctioned and completely forgot who Brett Maher was. By the way, I've cut him and since picked up the kicker from Detroit, Riley Patterson? That sounds right. Evan McPherson, Daniel Carlson, and then Kirk Cousins. Then the Philadelphia defense went off the board. Dallas, San Francisco. I took New England, recognizing that people were running defenses. And I like New England. I always have liked having New England's defense. They just always end up a good defense. David Njoku, Samaje Perine, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tank Bigsby. That's a good risk. Aaron Rodgers, Jerick McKinnon. Then we get into Russell Wilson, Pat Freiermuth, Elijah Mitchell, Deontay Johnson, Jameson Williams. It's a good risk. Harrison Butker. I took Dalton Schultz, Darnell Mooney, Quentin Johnston, Deonta Foreman. I would have liked to have picked him up. Greg Dulcich, Brandon Cooks, Elijah Moore, and then Rashawn Johnson. It would have been a nice one to go with the Deonta Foreman. New Orleans, Jason Myers, Derek Carr, Tyler Bass, the Jets defense, Baltimore defense, Adam Thielen, Younghoe Koo, Green Bay's defense, Buffalo's defense, Trey Lance, Rashad Bateman. I took Jared Goff. Yes, a third quarterback. I'm hoping that somebody is needing a trade. Kenneth Gainwell, Zay Flowers, and Devon Achane. So let's take a look at that by team here. I want to take a look and see what all really ended up on people's teams here. So let's take a look at the first overall pick was Mike's unbelievable team. He got Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, and Travis Etienne as running backs. He got Amari Cooper and Terry McLaurin at wide receiver, with Mark Andrews at tight end and Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Then his bench starts to fill up with Treylon Burks, Brandon Ayuk, and Michael Thomas, and Odell Beckham. So that's a lot of wide receivers on the bench. He's got a team full of wide receivers here. Jerick McKinnon, Russell Wilson as a backup quarterback. His defense is Baltimore, and he did not draft a kicker, which is fine because that's one you're going to be noticing that kicker you can just pick up anywhere along the way. So this first overall pick, I'm not in love with his team. Christian McCaffrey is a fine pick. Breece Hall, we'll see how that works out with the injuries. Travis Etienne, I have no idea how that's going to work out. Mark Andrews is an excellent tight end. We'll see how it works out with his longevity. Amari Cooper and Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin had a very quietly good season last year. Amari Cooper was a WR1. Deshaun Watson, we'll see if he can get back to form. When we get into this bench full of receivers, Burks, Ayuk, Thomas, and Beckham. I promise one of those four will have a great season. My dog is over here chewing up cardboard. Hello, Morgan. And I am having some strawberry water. I don't know if that plays well on the camera, but I take frozen strawberries and put them in my water instead of ice cubes. Ah, it's delicious. Then you get to eat the strawberries after. Okay, so here's a team that put together, I'm going to have all the receivers. He was going with the 0 RB through the first 4 rounds. He got Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and T. Higgins. This is 3 good receivers. Then he also got Patrick Mahomes. So he's got 3 good receivers and the number 1 quarterback. And then he's got Damian Pierce and James Conner at running back. Whew. With Alvin Kamara backing that up. DJ Moore is on the bench as well. This is a very dangerous team right here. Buck Dynasty. That's a very dangerous team. Alvin Kamara, that was a very risky play. If you've seen the video, this could be very bad for Alvin Kamara. Marquise Brown, Damian Harris. I don't know. Marquise Brown is in Arizona, and what's going to happen in Arizona? Is anybody going to be worth having? I don't know. Damian Harris in Buffalo, I think that job is James Cook's, with Harris not going to see a whole lot of time. Zach Charbonnet. Okay, Kenneth Walker has got the job. We'll see how that one plays out, too. Aaron Rodgers is a backup quarterback. That could be a nice play right there. He waited on tight end like I have been this year. New York Jets and Younghoe Koo. Okay, this is a decent team. This could be a very dangerous team. On to the 4 Henry Horsemen. Wow. I think he was trying to make a play on getting Derrick Henry, because I'm pretty sure he named his team this before the season. He didn't get Derrick Henry. Huh. Because Derrick Henry was gone way before his second pick. Okay, so anyways, he started with Jamar Chase, then A.J. Brown, Najee Harris, and Miles Sanders, and Justin Herbert. This is a decent start to a team. Cam Akers, Keenan Allen, Kyle Pitts, Rashad Penny, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tank Bigsby, Elijah Mitchell, Tyler Bass, and Green Bay. Okay, I'm not really scared of this team. It's a decent team, but I'm not really scared of it. I think if he had gotten Derrick Henry, he may have still gotten A.J. Brown on the way back. So, Lethal Weapons 51 started out with 2 running backs, Taylor and Kenneth Walker. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a good receiver, to Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon. So he's got solid running backs, very solid running backs. His second receiver is Michael Pittman. Then he took Mike Evans, Darren Waller for his tight end. We'll see how that works out. Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know. I thought maybe he's playing in the XFL this year. Maybe those points will count. Just playing. Zeke will land somewhere. Justin Tucker, excellent kicker. Cortland Sutton, Juju Smith-Schuster. We don't know how either one of those are going to work out just yet. Deontay Johnson, Derek Carr, and Buffalo's defense. Okay. The pilot started with Travis Kelce. Then he went to running backs, Tony Pollard and Ramondre Stevenson. A good receiver in DK Metcalf. Jahmyr Gibbs from Detroit. I don't think he's going to score the points a lot of folks are giving him credit for, because I think Montgomery's going to be the goal line guy. That's just it. You know, they're paying him $6 million, if I remember correctly. The contract is for $6 million this year. They're paying him to go get touchdowns. So I think Montgomery's going to have that. Then we got Christian Watson, which that could work out real great. It all hinges on Jordan Love. And he took Alexander Mattison. Turns out that's going to be the excellent move of this entire draft, because right now Alexander Mattison is going in the 4th round. So that's an excellent pick. Chris Godwin and Anthony Richardson. Starting quarterback is Anthony Richardson. But he did take Daniel Jones. Okay. Jahan Dotson, Samaje Perine, Jameson Williams, Jason Myers, and Trey Lance. Okay, so he also has 3 quarterbacks. I understand that. Excellent tight end, top in the world. These running backs could work out amazing. DK Metcalf will score around 200 points. Let's see if Christian Watson can get to the same level. Alexander Mattison is a steal. So this could be a dangerous team. Gators with Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb. That's good first 2 picks for receivers. Dalvin Cook and Justin Fields. Okay, we don't know what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook. Does he go to Denver? Does he go... some people have said Miami is a possibility. I don't know. We'll see what plays out there. I can't call that a good pick until I know where he's gone. Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins. Has J.K. Dobbins played a season yet? I don't know. Calvin Ridley, Javonte Williams. Boy, that was a nightmare last year, him getting injured early. Jerry Jeudy, Tua. So Justin Fields and Tua. Boy, he's getting a lock on those young running quarterbacks, isn't he? Antonio Gibson, Evan Ingram for his tight end, and David Njoku to back him up. Harrison Butker, New Orleans, and Rashad Bateman. I'm not too scared of this team. Then there's Random City Sports Ballers. Wow, I'm already scared of that name. This guy, whoever that is, he knows what he's doing. When you come up with a name like that for a team, you are a fantasy sports ball guy. So, let's see what he did here. Austin Eckler and Josh Jacobs at running back. I'm sorry, but that might make the playoffs by itself. Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Are we kidding me? The points leader on a week-to-week basis? Come on. Devonta Smith and Deebo Samuel. That's pretty good wide receivers. David Montgomery. Boy, that guy could get all the touchdowns in Detroit. Tyler Lockett is on the bench? Come on. James Cook, Mike Williams, and Dak Prescott. Seems like he fell asleep during the kicker draft of Brett Maher. And then he went after New England's defense and took his tight end Dalton Schultz. Rashawn Johnson could get the job in Chicago, and Jared Goff, man, he's going to have near 300 points this year. So these are obviously, I like my own team. Thank you. And Ed's excellent team. Started out with Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry, Chris Olave, Lamar Jackson, Brian Robinson, George Kittle, Drake London, A.J. Dillon, George Pickens, Tyler Algier, Evan McPherson, San Francisco, Darnell Mooney, Elijah Moore, and Kenneth Gainwell rounded out. This is a decent team. Wow, he put together a pretty decent team right there. All right, Bills. Their name is just Bills. Bills. There's no apostrophe. Dollar Bills? Buffalo Bills? I mean, he does have 2 Buffalo players. So, okay. Bills! Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, Jalen Waddle and DeAndre Hopkins, TJ Hawkinson, oh my, Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, Gabe Davis, Kadarius Toney, Daniel Carlson, Dallas defense, Quentin Johnston, Brandon Cooks, and Zay Flowers. Huh. Another pretty good team. I'd say that's a dangerous team as well. And TJ Juxon. I can tell this is a decent team just on an initial glance. Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs, then Garrett Wilson and Aaron Jones. 2 good running backs and 2 pretty darn good receivers, and Stephon Diggs. Okay. Then Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Did he take a backup? Kirk Cousins. Okay, this is really coming up. DeAndre Swift, Dallas Goedert, Christian Kirk, Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, Kirk Cousins I mentioned, Philadelphia defense, Deonta Foreman, Greg Dulcich, and Devin Achane. Okay, I'm seeing a total of about 4 or 5 teams that are I can look at and say, okay, these are the people competing for playoffs. Obviously, I'm one of them. But yeah, there's some good teams that were put together here. There are some good teams that were put together. Makes sense. These people are paying $50, so they know what they're doing. Looking over at this, all of the teams, and I see myself as a playoff team. I think it was a good draft, a solid draft, top to bottom. I'd like to go elsewhere with some of my players. I might be looking to trade one of the quarterbacks, either Dak Prescott or Jared Goff. Whichever one gets off to the hottest start is likely to get traded. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm happy with it. First draft of the season, and I've got my next draft coming up here tonight. In 10 minutes, that begins. So I'm going to end this, and we'll get back into my other draft. We'll do a recording of that one here shortly. Thanks for tuning in. Fantasy football season is upon us, fellas. Get out there and get you a team. Get started on drafting your mock drafts. Look for when the winners leagues are open. So if you want to get if you did win, get your winners league draft in. That's what mine is coming up here shortly tonight. And look forward to the season. Have fun with it, guys. Have fun. Seriously, have fun. And thanks for watching.